Hello and welcome to making a simple shape tween. I've done this video several times. I know this should be a shorter video than the motion tween. What we're going to be dealing with here is a totally different concept. And the concept really has to sort of do with the idea, and we talked about this in the Animate Basics, the difference between a vector graphic and what a vector graphic can do, and what a raster graphic do. If we think about raster graphics, we think about photographs. The glory of something like Animate is, for the most part, we're dealing with vector graphics. Vector graphics can morph, be manipulated, because computers are good and fast at sort of manipulating numbers and positioning and basically data or information on a particular file. And they're good at doing that quite fast if they're not dealing with individual pixels. So we're going to be dealing with what's called a shape tween. And this is different in the sense that we're not necessarily going to use the library. We're going to do this directly on the stage, and we're going to morph one shape into another. I have skipped steps 1 through 3. I may do this as we move through the semester. I've opened Animated. I've created the ActionScript 3.0 file. And we're ready to create a shape tween. So I'm going to head into this and discuss sort of the important parts as we go through it. It says choose the oval tool in the toolbox, and click and hold and draw a circle. And we're going to sort of deal with the color of that circle here in a minute. So I'm going to draw directly on the stage. I'm going to hold down Shift. And you can make a perfect circle by holding the Shift on your keyboard. I'm going to sort of, this isn't necessarily in there, but I'm going to choose a particular color, and I just want to show you how we can do this. I can click on this, and you'll see that it's kind of dotted. I'm going to just sort of choose this to be a, let's go green here. Okay. So again, different. I've drawn this directly on the stage. Okay. And let's sort of move ahead and make this shape tween. It says, first of all, step 6 says this will create a new keyframe. Remember this idea of a keyframe. We're stating, and this is going to be more important in the shape tween, we're stating that at this point we have a green circle. It's about this size. It's this shade of green, and it's right here. Its positioning is right here. It says, step 7, move up to frame 60 in the timeline and click on that frame, just like we did in the motion tween. It says, step 8, choose insert timeline blank keyframe. So a little bit different. We're introducing this idea of the blank keyframe. So unlike what we did in motion tween, where when we inserted a frame, it pulled that symbol all the way up there. At this point, we have the green sort of keyframe all the way up until frame 60, where we've inserted a blank keyframe. So here we're going to state something different. We're going to sort of draw something different that sort of defines frame 60. So in frame 1, we've defined it as containing this green ball here, and at frame 60, we're going to define it as containing something completely different. So it says, step 9, while on that blank keyframe, choose the rectangle tool. So choose the rectangle tool. And it says, step 10, draw a rectangle of a different color on that frame. So before I even draw it, I'm simply going to sort of choose a different color, and I am going to draw a rectangle. Okay. Now, at this point, we have sort of two kind of what I'll call definitions or keyframes. We have this keyframe, which states this, and we have this keyframe, which states that. We don't have much tween. We don't have much stuff going on other than we have the green ball up until frame 59, and then we have a red rectangle. Now, it says, and this might sound familiar because it's sort of similar to how we created a motion tween, it says choose any frame between 1 and 60 in the timeline. I'm going to do that. And click on that frame. Choose insert shape tween. So I'm going to go to insert shape tween. And now, first of all, you see we have a green tween here, and then you're going to see right off the bat, depending on where your playhead is, what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to move my playhead back and forth, and you'll sort of see that we transition from one to the other. I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to name this my first last name underscore shape tween. Remember, we don't type in .fla; it sort of already comes up as such. And so I saved that, and I'm going to test this movie. This is going to create. Remember, this creates the SWF, and we'll see the SWF version right here. Voila, happening. Okay, so that's the file you're going to hand in. This is a different concept. Later in the semester, we might use this in the movie clips, but it's a different type of tween, and I always introduce it here in the first couple weeks because it's potentially going to become important to how we animate later. So make sure you drop this, step 17, hand this completed SWF file into the week 2 Dropbox. You're going to be handing in 2 files, one the motion tween and one the shape tween. Again, email me with any questions, and I look forward to seeing these files.